Most people believe change begins with action. They believe life shifts only when you move, when you do something bold, when the world can see it. But this story begins much earlier than that, in a quiet place where no one is watching, where no one is listening, and where a single decision can silently rewrite an entire future. This is the story of how one decision in his mind changed his life forever. For a long time, his life felt painfully ordinary. Every day followed the same pattern: waking up tired, moving through work without purpose, and going to sleep with questions that never found answers. Nothing was breaking, yet nothing was growing. He wasn't failing loudly, but he wasn't winning either. He felt stuck, not because he lacked talent or opportunity, but because his mind had quietly accepted that this was all life had prepared for him. Inside his head, a soft but relentless voice repeated the same thoughts again and again. This is just how things are. This is as far as I can go. Maybe this is my limit. Those thoughts never screamed. They whispered, and that made them dangerous. Over time, they drained his ambition, softened his belief, and placed his life on autopilot. He stopped expecting more because his mind had stopped allowing more. Then, on an ordinary day that looked like every other day, something small happened. No miracle, no dramatic event, just a moment of silence where he noticed a thought before it slipped away. And for the first time, instead of accepting it, he challenged it. He asked himself a question that felt uncomfortable, almost rebellious. What if this life isn't my limit? What if this is only the beginning? That question became a decision. Nothing changed on the outside the next morning. He didn't wake up successful. His problems didn't vanish. The world didn't suddenly open doors for him. But inside, something shifted. Effort no longer felt like punishment. It felt like investment. Discipline no longer felt heavy. It felt necessary. He stopped blaming circumstances and started owning his choices. Slowly, quietly, his actions began to align with the person he had decided to become. He worked when no one noticed. He learned when no one applauded. He stayed disciplined on days when motivation completely disappeared. Progress was slow and easy to ignore, but it was real. Each small step strengthened that single decision he had made, the decision to stop thinking like the person he used to be. Months passed, then years. And one day, he looked back and barely recognized the life that once felt like a prison. The future he was living hadn't arrived suddenly. It had been built patiently, brick by brick, through silence and consistency. Not because of luck, not because of talent, but because of one decision in his mind to think differently. Here's the truth most people never realize. Your life rarely changes when your circumstances change. It changes when your thinking does. The moment you stop accepting limits that exist only in your mind, your future begins to move, even if the results take time to appear. So if you feel stuck right now, remember this. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need permission. You don't need everything figured out. Sometimes, all it takes is one honest decision, a quiet promise to yourself that you will no longer think in ways that hold you back. Because the future you want doesn't begin with action. It begins with a decision in your mind.